All right. Uhuru, comrades, and welcome to the Black Power 96 Black Power Radio Fight Back webinar calling on you to support the lawsuit to defend the free speech rights of the Black community. My name is Akilé Anai. I'm the Community Advisory Board for Black Power 96 Radio, and I have the honor of being your MC for this evening. I want to begin this evening by recognizing and saluting the profound leadership of Chairman Omali Yeshitela, freedom fighter for 60 years of his life, with a vision for the African working class to have its own radio capacity and ability to communicate our voice, our aims, and interests. I'd also like to salute the African People's Education and Defense Fund President, Onezene Ishitela, as the leadership over the baddest nonprofit on the planet, serving the African working class through its programs addressing the grave disparities in health, education, and economic development. Black Power 96 Radio, a project of APEDF, has come under attack, and this community radio station with a big mission is fighting back. Last year, Black Power 96.3 FM here in St. Petersburg, Florida, qualified for over $100,000 in federal COVID relief funding that is being administered by Pinellas County. The Pinellas County Commissioners revoked and denied this grant money that Black Power 96 and the Black community urgently needs to purchase new equipment for our free training program and a power generator so we can stay on air during the frequent power outages in St. Petersburg. In this broadcast, we're going to bring you the full story and call on you to support Black Power 96 Radio in this fight back. You're going to see video clips that expose the political attacks carried out by the Pinellas County Commissioners, denying the Black community our constitutional rights to freedom of speech and freedom of association, and awarding public tax dollars in a racially discriminatory way. We are going to hear from our station manager, Mr. Eddie Maultsby, the world's best blind DJ. We'll also hear testimony from Black Power 96 listeners and volunteers, and we'll hear from some of the talented artists who get airplay on Black Power 96 Radio while they are denied access to be heard on commercial radio, to see what they have to say about the importance of this radio station. And finally, we have a special guest, attorney Luke Lirot, Black Power 96's lawyer who has filed suit against the Pinellas County Commissioners. We want to kick off this program with a dynamic performance by Donna and Shakky, the dynamic duo out of Canada, performing their hit, We Shall Not Be Moved. Following their performance, we will go ahead and move into the story behind, the attacks on Black Power 96 Radio. So let's take a look at Donna and Shakky's We Shall Not Be Moved.
One soul, one place, one beginning, a million races.
Alongside Shakky Ali.
Mama Africa.
Me tired. Can't take it no more.
Mama Africa. We shall not be moved. We will not stand down. So much time has passed.
Ayo.
Things come back around. We shall not be moved. We will not back down. We came as kings and queens.
You hear?
But slavery slowed us down.
Lord, me tired fi see the man dem a drop. Me tired fi see the human dem just a flop, no cap. This are the truth from the top. Me heart just a beat like a rat-a-tat-tat. When me see another black man dead pan the ground, me say, Lord God, it could have been my son, no fun. We stand firm, now run. Me tired of all the hatred around, oh God.
We will not stand down. So much time has passed.
Ayo.
Things come back around. We shall not be moved. We will not back down. We came as kings and queens.
You hear?
But slavery slowed us down.
Long time ago you enslaved our bodies. You beat us with chains and hung us from the trees. You took our women, raped them endlessly. It's bad for some children you didn't want to see. Now fast forward to modern day earth scenery. You're trying to enslave us again mentally, but our spirits are strong. Strong as can be, we will always be free.
We shall not be moved. We will not stand down. So much time has passed. Things come back around. We shall not be moved. We will not back down. We came as kings and queens. But slavery slowed us down.
Lord, I got 2020, we in and still feeling pain. Cause we fighting each other like Abel and Cain. How come you would think you superior to me? We all were created so equal and free. Why go do your research? We are born kings and queens. Why don't you admit you have no self-esteem? Just look at your face, look at my face. We are one human race.
We shall not be moved.
No way.
We will not stand down. So much time has passed. Things come back around.
Ayo.
We shall not be moved. We will not back down. We came as kings and queens.
You hear?
But slavery slowed us down. Don't trust standing in my shoes, just standing in my skin. Cause I wear it loud and proud and I feel it from within. No more waiver, no more slaves here. We're gonna work it out right now.
No fun, we stand firm now run. Tired of all the Trayvon Martin, Breonna Taylor. Lord, me never know it would have reached ya. Tammy Rice, Eric Garner, Stackle off we brothers and we sisters, Stephen Clark, Michael Brown. It's too numerous to even mention. Tanisha Anderson, Walter Scott. Oh Lord, my God, it have to stop.
We shall not be moved.
Nana Makida,
We will not stand down.
Shakky Allen.
So much time has passed.
Ayo!
Things come back around. We shall not be moved. We will not back down. We came as kings and queens, but slavery slowed us down.
Sure.
Uhuru. So that was again Donna and Shakky out of Canada with We Shall Not Be Moved. And when you hear the message behind that very powerful song, you begin to understand the significance of a radio station like Black Power 96, which unapologetically plays this type of content out on the radio airwaves and empowering African people, through this message of resistance. So really want to salute Donna and Shakky for that incredible performance, that beautiful song. And as we move into the next portion of our program, I also just want to recognize some people who are watching on with us and just appreciate you taking your evening out tonight to join us in the Black Power Radio Fight Back. And I just want to shout out Sister Denise, out in the DC area, Sister Denise, and also Comrade Diane Tournay out in Gainesville, Uhuru, also Comrade Paulette out in Gainesville with the Leonard Peltier Ad Hoc Committee. Uhuru, Comrade Paulette, thank you for joining us. And I see so many of you, and I could spend the whole evening shouting you all out, but thank you so much for joining with us today. And I just wanted to just really, really appreciate you participating in, this very important webinar that is a part of the Fight Back, Black Power 96 Radio Fight Back. So we're holding this program to build support for Black Power 96's Fight Back on this specific date, November 13th, because it's the 27th anniversary of the Battle of St. Petersburg, a story of African resistance. On November 13th, 1996, more than 300 military forces surrounded this very building where Black Power 96 Radio is headquartered. This same building, whose red, black, and green African flag was torched with a military-grade flamethrower on July 2nd of last year. And this same building that was raided by the FBI on July 29th of last year, when they did tens of thousands of dollars in damage to the building and stole all the computers, laptops, phones, hard drives, and files they could find. On November 13th, 1996, more than 100 children, women, and men had come to the Uhuru House for our weekly community meeting, this time to discuss the failure of a grand jury to indict the police killers of 18-year-old Tyrone Lewis, an unarmed motorist who died for driving while Black. When that murder happened on October 24th, 1996, just a few blocks from the Uhuru House, the people rose up. They fought the police in hand-to-hand combat and went on to torch police stations, media vans, and predatory merchants. 3 weeks later, the decision of the grand jury to let the killer cops go free was announced, and every military agency in the area converged on the Uhuru House. They fired all the tear gas they had in St. Pete on this building, tried to set it on fire and to kill the community people inside who were just having a legal, peaceful community meeting in our own building. They used a helicopter and a small plane. This attack on November 13th was an assassination attempt on the life of Chairman Omali Yeshitela, much like the FBI and US government threats of a 15-year prison sentence are today. But the people of South St. Pete rose up, coming on bicycles from all directions with masks on their face called ghost faces and armed with rocks and weapons. They pushed back the attack. The next day, the commander was quoted in the Times as screaming into his radio, "Pull the troops back, we're under heavy fire." It was this heroic community that rose up to defend the organization and the movement that defends the people. So today, on November 13th, 2023, we're calling on you to stand up and defend Black Power 96 Radio from the vicious attacks that were made on our African community by the Pinellas County Commission when they stole over $100,000 that is owed to our community's radio station. To tell the story of the Pinellas County's commissioner's racially biased, unconstitutional stealing of the $100,000 that rightfully belongs to Black Power 96 Radio, we'll start with who and what Black Power 96 is. So this is Black Power Radio Fights Back. Support the lawsuit to defend the free speech rights of the African community. Black Power 96 Radio is a project of the African People's Education and Defense Fund, the baddest nonprofit on the planet, whose mission is to defend the human and civil rights of the African community and to end the disparities faced by African people in healthcare, education, and economic development. And we want to salute APEDF's president, Onozine Shatella, for her bold and visionary leadership and taking the mission of APEDF out into the world. Just last month, the African People's Education and Defense Fund was honored and recognized by the Philadelphia City Council for defending the rights of the African community, providing affordable furniture and home goods to Philadelphians, providing jobs, job training, and volunteer opportunities through Uhuru Furniture and Collectibles, and committing all profits to supporting economic development and self-determination programs for Black communities across the country. APEDF's work has been widely recognized with funding and support from organizations such as the USDA that awarded a 3-year grant for its farmers market in St. Louis, along with private companies and foundations. The African People's Education and Defense Fund has served the Black community of St. Petersburg for 29 years with programs including a fitness gym, free HIV testing, free health fairs, an events venue and licensed kitchen, family festivals, marketplaces for neighborhood vendors, public forums, a community meeting place, a Saturday school, and backyard vegetable gardening education. In 2017, the African People's Education and Defense Fund's Black Power 96 Radio went live on the FM airwaves. African workers built this station from the ground up, raising the tower and creating the broadcast studio. From its studios in the Black community of South St. Petersburg, Black Power 96.3 FM radio broadcasts music and public affairs programming produced by and for the Black community. WBPU's FM signal reaches over 100,000 residents in South St. Pete and many more listeners internationally through its website, blackpower96.org, and its mobile app, Black Power 96. Black Power 96 is a voice of the Black Power movement. This station broadcasts interviews and speeches that teach and guide our movement for African liberation. Black Power 96 speaks out against the gentrification and the destruction of our Black neighborhoods. When the city of St. Pete threatened to shut down our African vendors at the Martin Luther King parade, Black Power 96 spoke out in defense of the Black community's right to economic development. This Black community radio station helped push them back, and the African People's Education and Defense Fund provided space and entertainment on the parade route from our stage at our Tyrone Lewis community gym of our own. Black Power 96 Radio is a Pacifica Network affiliate station, sharing stories from the Black community with over 100 community radio stations around the US. The station provides free training and internships to students of all ages, preparing some for meaningful employment and careers in the broadcast and music industries. In 2021, longtime station volunteer, Mr. Eddie Maultsby, was hired on as a station manager. 100% blind, DJ Eddie has brought a far-reaching vision for professionalizing and growing Black Power 96. Mr. Eddie initiated a weekly contest called Local Going Global, where unsigned artists submit their music and listeners vote by text message for their favorite song. Black Power 96 has actually been instrumental in helping local talent to get started in the music business. Since the beginning, Black Power 96 has relied on the creative work of volunteers and the financial support of individual listener and members in local small businesses. Mr. Eddie has also organized several concerts to raise funds for the station. Some have been gospel concerts held at local churches. When COVID hit, we had to do virtual gospel concerts. During the pandemic, the station, pandemic, the station turned to online concerts, and Mr. Eddie was able to win award-winning artists like Gerald Alston of the Manhattans to contribute their performances. So under the direction of APEDF President Onozine Shatella, the station began to apply for grants to expand the resources of the station so that it could hire more staff and upgrade its equipment. Last year, the station applied for federal COVID relief funds designated for nonprofits that suffered a negative economic impact from the pandemic. Black Power 96 applied for 2 grants in these categories. 1 grant for equipment to upgrade studio and transmitter operations, computers to expand the station's free training program, and to buy a mobile kit for remote broadcasts, and the other grant to buy and install a backup power generator to keep the station on air during South St. Pete's very frequent outages. The station's applications were ranked 4th in each category out of 55 and then 79 applicants, respectively. The grant applications were evaluated by an independent review board of the nonprofit Pinellas Community Foundation, who had been hired by the Pinellas County Commission to evaluate applications. The independent reviewers recommended that Black Power 96 receive over $100,000 of the federal monies, $36,801 for station equipment and $67,327 for the backup generator. These federal COVID relief funds are being distributed through the county. On November 15, 2022, the Pinellas County Commission voted to approve the funding for all those nonprofit groups recommended by the Pinellas Community Foundation. Then on February 9th, 2023, during a report from the Pinellas County Community Foundation on the status of the distribution of COVID relief funds to local nonprofits, delivered to a work session of the County Commission, composed of 4 re-elected commissioners and 2 newly elected commissioners, including Chris Lotvala. Lotvala launched into a tirade of slander and lies against the APEDF and Black Power 96. Roll clip.
Some of these groups I was not familiar with, so I looked them up. The African People's Education and Defense Fund received money for radio station equipment.
Yes.
Was that for Black Power 96 in St. Petersburg?
What radio station is that? Yeah, I think that is for their radio station.
According to their website, and that's the website of the African People's Education and Defense Fund, they're associated with the Uhurus in St. Petersburg.
Correct.
Are you familiar that the Uhurus once held a mock trial in which they sentenced the mayor and chief of police in St. Petersburg to death?
I'm not familiar with that trial, no, but I'm familiar with some of the other challenges.
That was in reporting by the Tampa Bay Times, in which they did a story about the FBI raid. The Uhurus, which is associated with this group, also support the release of all Black prisoners. Are you familiar with that?
No.
According to the Anti-Defamation League, the Uhurus have ties to anti-Semitic Black nationalist groups. So my question is, how would a group that has ties to anti-Semitic nationalist groups get approved for funding?
So they went through the funding process like other organizations. We were concerned about some of the issues that have arisen because of the FBI investigation. We had some conversation with the county about this particular application and asked questions as to whether or not some of that should be disqualifying for the organization. And the feedback that we received, especially around the FBI investigation, was that if they are not on the list of organizations that can't contract with the county, or not on the list to be barred from receiving federal funds, that they should go through and be scored in this process like every other organization.
Do you believe that they're a group or a story that should be considered something that we should be proud of, based on your earlier statements?
I think it's an organization that, based on the application that they submitted and the information that they requested and reviewed publicly by a committee, that there was belief that there would be reasonable community benefit from the allocation that they were offered.
Are political parties eligible for this funding?
No, they aren't.
Are you familiar that the Uhurus are a political party?
I'm not aware that they're
They
a political
run
party.
candidates for mayor and city council just about every cycle in St. Petersburg?
And I would say, from my understanding of this and looking at some of it, the organization is a 501c3 public charity. The IRS has not revoked the status of the African People's Education and Defense Fund, although there may be other associations in particular The IRS has not ruled that they can't receive public contributions or that those aren't, those lack the ability to be tax deductible. That is something that we looked at as well. I think if they were doing things that were deemed inappropriate for a 501c3 public charity, their status would have been revoked by the IRS, and that's reviewed as part of our process as well.
And this is a question for Barry. On the next list that comes, do we vote on the entire list or do we vote individually?
Well, you would vote on the entire list, but you can certainly pull off any individual request that is part of that list. So, you know, there's nothing, these are recommendations to you as a commission. If there's particular concerns you have about any group on that list, you can certainly pull off that for a separate discussion.
But we can't pull that off now, can we? Since they've already been funded?
Oh, the previous one, that was already voted on.
Okay. I think they're up for the next request too. That's all the questions I have.
They have submitted in round, in the large capital projects fund round as well, which will come, those recommendations from committee will come to the commission, correct?
I just think that, and it's not necessarily that they're a socialist group. I think that in Pinellas County, part of our values should be that we don't give tax money to anti-Semitic nationalist groups, regardless of what side of the aisle they fall on.
Are there any other questions? Commissioner Scott?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to support everything that Commissioner Latvala said.
True. So, Latvala slandered the APEDF by making false accusations that this nonprofit runs candidates for office, which would be a violation of IRS rules for nonprofits. He also made false accusations that APEDF is anti-Semitic and that APEDF is under FBI investigation, which it is not. Ties to what's happening, you know, in terms of the situation that's happening in the world today. And the Tampa Bay Times actually ran an article regarding the pulling of these funds based on a press conference that we had called, Black Power 96 had called right here. And, you know, they actually investigated the allegations of anti-Semitism. But the thing that's really important for us to draw out is that, you know, they talk about, you know, the Anti-Defamation League and how people can be characterized as anti-Semitic, and how this has always been used to attack Black people and Black organizations to obscure a greater political question. But the thing that we should be looking at is, why isn't there any kind of defamation league when it comes to the slander of African people, when it comes to attacking the African working class and being able to, you know, sit from a public, you know, official seat and to be able to slander the African working class, its, you know, its viewpoints, its organizations, and the work that it's trying to do to uplift itself. You know, there's no punishment. There is, you know, no consequence for the attacks that are made on African people, not just what's said, but what happens, the constant attacks, physical attacks, being pushed out of our community, where, you know, Latvala says the county should not uphold, you know, the values that the Uhuru movement has. Well, the values that it does hold up is the attacks, ongoing historical attacks against Black people in the city who are being forcibly pushed out, who live in a power desert, who are economically deprived, and in every opportunity where we try to do for ourselves, you know, governments, you know, local, federal, state governments step in to intervene in the process of Black people being able to achieve any kind of power. And there's no kind of consequence, you know, for that. And, you know, the fact is that Black Power 96 articulates the voice and the resistance of the African working class. And that's its purpose, so that it can articulate its own interests. It can, you know, exercise its own agency. And for instance, if we, you know, wanted to say Black Power 96, you know, free Palestine, or play a speech about free Palestine, we would be characterized as anti-Semitic. So these very subjective kind of characterizations that have always been used to attack Black people and to make people not touch, you know, this organization or the work, you know, of such organizations, you know, that whole thing is absolute garbage, and it's continued slander against us, this movement, and Black people as a whole, to be able to obscure a greater question, you know, which is why the question of as to why the Pinellas County Commission, the real question as to why the Pinellas County Commission does not want to fund an organization with a track record such as APEDF. APEDF? That's the real question. So on February 14th, 2023, in a sneak maneuver, Chris Lotbella introduced a motion to revoke the funding that had been granted to Black Power 96, and the Pinellas County Commission unanimously voted to revoke APEDF's radio equipment grant. This issue wasn't even on the agenda, so APEDF was denied due process and any ability to speak out before such a vote. It's important to note that at the same time this year, Regions Bank began placing economic sanctions on APEDF by closing down business and personal accounts with no explanation.
Okay, and number 24 is the County Commission new business pertinent timely committee boards, updates, and policy considerations. Let's start with Commissioner Lathala.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I actually have two items that I'd
Okay.
like to discuss. The first one is on Thursday, we talked about the ARPA funding, and I had some questions about that. And I would like to make a motion to revoke the funding for African People's Education and Defense Fund in the amount of $36,801 for a radio station, because I do not think that we should be funding radio stations with the amount of needs that there are in our community.
I second that.
Okay, it's been moved by Commissioner Latvala and seconded by Commissioner Flowers, and now we open for discussion.
So again, you see there, this specific targeting of APEDF. And we know that $37,000 is really just a drop in the bucket in terms of even the access to the resources that they have that they were approving for different organizations. And APEDF, was singled out. So, when we look at the players here, we saw this person, Chris Lotbella. And it's really important to know, these forces who are passing judgment, who are trying to define who APEDF is and the work that it is that this organization does. And, but it's important for us to look at who is doing the talking here. And Chris Lotbella, we have to say we know who he is. And that the Tampa Bay Times writes, 5 years after Jack Lotbella, who is Chris Lotbella's father, stunning fall from grace, his son joins the Pinellas County Commission as the family businesses benefit. The Times reported that in the 5 years since he resigned from the Florida Senate amid a sexual misconduct investigation, Jack Lotbella has continued to influence Pinellas County politics by quietly unloading millions of dollars from his political committee to support local and state candidates and other Republican committees. Much of that money found its way to the family businesses as Chris Lotbella continued his political journey from state representative to county commissioner. 9 of the groups funded by the senior Lotbella's political committee paid $662,100,000 to Gulf Coast Imprinting, a campaign services company owned by Jack Lotbella, with Chris Lotbella as vice president. Jack Lotbella's committee, meanwhile, has also paid a fixed monthly fee to Chris Lotbella's consulting firm, totaling nearly $250,000 since 2017. Chris Lotbella personally profits from his political position while he blocks funding from the Black community. Another person who joined in proudly with the attacks against APEDF and Black Power 96 was Renee Flowers, the only Black person on the Pinellas County Commission and the commissioner who is supposed to represent the district where Black Power 96 is located. She was quick to second Lotbella's motion to deny the Black community's funding. It wasn't the first time she has blocked government funds going to the Black community, and specifically to the African People's Education and Defense Fund. In 2001, while Flowers sat on the St. Petersburg City Council, the African People's Education and Defense Fund succeeded in acquiring Community Development Block Grant, or CDBG funds, from the city for the Tyrone Lewis Community Gym. CDBG funding comes from HUD, supposedly to alleviate poverty. Instead, St. Pete had used CDBG money to destroy the Laurel Park affordable public housing for the Tropicana Field parking and to upgrade the hotel rooms of the Hilton Hotel. Community-driven organizations were never awarded these funds, but Uhuru paved the way. But as soon as the community achieved this, Renee Flowers led the charge to change the rules so that no nonprofit could receive such CDBG funding unless they had an equal amount of money on reserve in the bank. This meant that no small Black nonprofit community organization could access these funds. Several years later, the APEDF was preparing to renovate the Uhuru House and to expand the size of the popular Aquaba Hall event venue for family and cultural events. In order to do this, additional parking space was required. So APEDF sought to purchase a city-owned vacant lot across the street. A purchase contract was approved by the city's real estate department, but Renee Flowers stepped in and argued that she had a pet project in mind to build affordable housing on that lot. She blocked the expansion of the Uhuru House Black Community Center and never built that housing. That lot remains vacant today. For several years prior to joining the Pinellas County Commission, Renee Flowers was employed as a fundraiser for a local nonprofit that applied for the same COVID relief funding and was initially funded only partially for their proposed $2.4 million renovation project. Then when BP96 funds were singled out to be denied $67,000 for its backup power generator, those funds were added to the funding for Flowers' former employer. Just like at the federal level, operators move from positions in private corporations to become legislators and back again, ensuring that they and their employers can benefit from tax dollars while the people are denied. And at the next commission meeting, members of the Black community and other supporters of Black Power 96 Radio spoke out to demand the restoration of the funding.
I've been a St. Pete resident for as long as I can remember. I've gone to school in Pinellas County all my life, ever since kindergarten. I went to Sexton Elementary, and then I went to Thurgood Marshall Middle School, St. Pete High, and then now I'm at St. Pete College. I've grown up here and witnessed the gentrification of my city ever since I was in middle school. Walking around, I could see things being demolished right before my eyes. Black Power 96 has been serving the Black community for over half a decade now, providing vital public service announcements, news, and culture. I'm thankful and fortunate to be offered an opportunity at the radio station. As a programmer, as a program engineer for Black Power 96. However, I'm not the first student to work at Black Power 96. A group of Gibbs High School students got their start there with a radio show called No Class. And now my comrade Iquan works for Nielsen Media Group, which is a radio company. He's made it big, and I want to be able to do the same and see the same thing in my community. Thank you.
I'm a resident of St. Petersburg, Florida, my whole life. I'm 52 years old. I was born and raised here. There's been nobody like Black Power 96 in this city ever. Nobody has done for the community what this station does for the community. Speaking as a local artist and an author, this station, like, they took my material and they actually put it out with no hassle. They got it to the people, they got the word out to the community that I had a book that was intentionally designed for incarcerated Black men to help us overcome these obstacles. This station has, it just stood in the forefront for the Black community, and it's always been an eye-opener. It's a shame that they had to have these funds taken away from them after they have been granted. And the station really needs it, and the station can use it because it helps the community. And I just wanted to be here to voice that and to let this commission know that that money is very well needed, and that money will be used to help the community, because that's what they do. They help the community.
I'm the station manager for Black Power 96.3 FM. I'm 100% blind because you saw someone brought me up here. And with that being said, I was singing downtown here in St. Petersburg, born and raised here. Singing downtown for 35 years, started out at a store called McCory's. In 2017, I heard of this station called Black Power 96.3 FM. It's about time for me to get off the streets singing for nickels and dimes. So I went to the station to see if I could be a DJ, and they allowed me to be a DJ, 100% blind, again, handicapped and disabled. They allowed me to be station assistant manager 2 years later. 2 years after that, I became manager. This station has a place in our community. It does help the minority brothers like myself and the independent working class people. I want to say also that the brother that just spoke, Elijah, said that the brother came in at 17 years old. I was there, got got us a show there and began to do his show for a couple of years, and now at Nielsen Radio, which is a corporation which is one of the largest in the United States. This is vital to keep a station like this going, for the people can knock on the door and come in without a dollar or a dime. Right now, our government, or your government, is in debate with student loans that are costing our United States trillions of dollars. Joe Biden wants to get rid of it. This company, Black Power 96.3 FM, and the Education Defense Fund, we want those funds back. How can you give someone something and then take it back? And I heard a pastor just came up here saying something about God. If God gave Jesus to save us and then give it back, we would all go to hell. Last I want to say to this commission is that every time this is brought up to you, you should shamelessly hold your head. I'm 100% blind. Even a blind man can see that you have done an injustice. Even a blind man can see the cloud that is dirty holding over your head. Please remove the cloud and make what's wrong right. Thank you.
The African People's Education and Defense Fund has served the Black community of St. Petersburg for 29 years. I have been honored to provide administrative support for APEDF for 25 of those years. The mission of APEDF is to defend the human and civil rights of the African community and to create programs and institutions that address the grave disparities in health, education, economic development faced by African people. APEDF has been self-funded since its inception in 1994. The vital community programs have included a fitness gym, free HIV testing, gardening and financial literacy workshops, marketplaces for neighborhood vendors, family festivals, public forums, and a community meeting place with an events venue. The Licensed Kitchen is a unique resource for people to build local food businesses and nonprofits to prepare food for those in need. The grant which APEDF applied for and was awarded last November is called the American Rescue Plan Act Nonprofit Capital Project Fund. Billions of dollars of federal grant funds are required to be used for equipment and structures. These grants were specifically designed for capital projects such as the emergency broadcast and disability access equipment that we were approved for. The 33 other nonprofit organization grants that you approved funded items such as transport vans, truck, forklift, furniture, computers, software, surveillance systems, and dental equipment. The ARPA grant money comes from all our tax dollars, including that of the Black community. These funds do not belong to the County Commission, and the purpose cannot be changed. For all of you to suddenly say that you now want to fund people over products is clearly a cover for your attempt to illegally deny APEDF funds because of our association with the Uhuru movement, which has stood up for the rights of the Black community for over 50 years. Your vote to revoke the grant on February 14th was not announced, nor on a public agenda, and it's not even in the notes from the meeting. The community is outraged. This grant was awarded to APEDF based on merit. Our application ranked 4th out of 55 with a 94% score. We met all the criteria. The Black community deserves these resources and is tired of broken promises, secret votes, and take-backs. We're pursuing all our options, including legal action against the Commission for violating the federal grant rules, for violating sunshine laws, as well as for slander, libel, and false accusations. Your defamatory, derogatory, and unprofessional marks will not go unchallenged. Our application for the ARPA large grant capital projects is pending. Our intent letter was rated 4th of 60. The grant is for a building generator to allow the radio station and community commercial kitchen to operate and serve the community during emergencies. You will not stop these legitimately earned grant funds from going to APEDF. We will not be set back. We are continuing the work of Black Power 96 and all APEDF programs that benefit, protect, and defend the Black community in St. Pete and elsewhere. African people have the right to self-determination. Thank you.
My name is Akilé Anai, born and raised in St. Petersburg, Florida, and I'm the Director of Media and Communications for the Uhuru movement. I'm here today as an outraged citizen of Pinellas County. because of the recent decision by this commission to revoke the ARPA grant funds previously awarded to the APEDF radio station WBPU LP 96.3 FM, or famously known as Black Power 96. This vote came days after a commission meeting where commissioners slandered the Uhuru movement, making baseless claims and accusations. Latvala and Flowers spearheaded this attack, and the rest of the commission followed suit with the assertion that no organization affiliated with the Uhuru movement should be considered for funding. The Uhuru movement, founded and led by Omali Yeshitela, has served the historically oppressed and impoverished Black community for over 5 decades, creating programs, institutions, and campaigns that defend the democratic rights of Black people. This commission cannot say the same. When our people were in need of a community center, a health and wellness program, free HIV testing, youth sports and other recreation, cultural centers, educational institutions, the Uhuru movement provided them. It has been this movement that has fought long and hard for genuine economic development and reparations to our community, something that at every turn the government has worked to intervene and put a stop to. The Uhuru movement took to the streets to win Black people to participate in the electoral process, registering first-time voters and even shuttling them to the polls. It has been this movement that has had the courage to stand up to expose the status quo and its agenda to keep the Black community oppressed and exploited. It was our organization who didn't join in with the slander of our community when the police killed Tyron Lewis in 1996, a killing no different than that of George Floyd in 2020 or Tyree Nichols in January of this year. We organized the people to exercise their rights to freedom of speech and assembly, to oppose these murders and the violence imposed on our people. I'm here to say that the commission's decision to take these resources away from APDF and Black Power 96 radio is purely politically motivated. It has nothing to do with whether or not they believe a radio is of necessity. This is clearly an infringement upon the rights of Black people as presumed citizens of the U.S. The fact is we have a different opinion and we're unafraid to express it, and because of this, we are being punished. We don't have and have never agreed with Flowers or Latvala's dynasty or anyone else that has ever stood in the way of Black people being able to achieve political and economic power over our lives. But whether or not Flowers, Latvala, and the rest of this commission likes the Uhuru movement is not what the grant was about. Those funds do not belong to any of the commissioners. They belong to the people. If democracy is under attack in this country, the Pinellas County Commission should be held responsible for attacking and criminalizing Black people for exercising our rights to freedom of speech, freedom of association, and assembly. I want to further assert that this attack on a platform that gives rise to Black voices, stories, businesses, and culture is no different than that which is being made by Ron DeSantis on Black history and education, which we know some of the commissioners on here support. It's an attack we will not stand for. We demand these resources be re-awarded back to this radio station and for this commission to halt its slanderous attacks on the Uhuru movement, APDF, and the entire Black community. Thank you.
So you heard it from the people themselves, and the commissioners didn't even respond, to the people, but they were exposed to the people as servants of the developers with no concern or accountability to the people. So I just want to continue to go forward and, just note that we know the real reason why the commissioners voted down or revoked these funds from Black Power 96 radio. We have no confusion. It's not about any of the excuses, explanation, or even, any of the reasonings that they gave after the fact, after they slandered the Uhuru movement. We know why. And on June 13, 2023, the Pinellas County Commission voted to single out Black Power 96 from the foundation's list of recommendations to again deny the funding. And this is an attack, a direct attack, an intentional attack on Black self-determination. Our suit is based on the attack on our constitutional rights to free speech. And they can't find anything that APDF has ever done, to justify the claims in which they've made, against this movement. It's all been things that, we have said. All the things are attacking free speech, things that we say, not attacks that we make on the people, no robbery, no kind of crimes, committed in this way. It's all been based on things that we've said. Or things that the Uhuru movement, through its various organizations, have said, which is, it would require the right of free speech, our constitutional right of free speech, to be able to say these things, to make these criticisms. And this is the basis for, it's a political attack. It's the basis for the denial of these grant resources, and it's a political attack. It's an attack on the ability for the Black community to be self-determining, to have the kind of economic development and economic reliance, self-reliance that we need to be able to thrive. as a people. And this is why it's coupled with all the other economic attacks that have been made on APEDF since the July 29th, 2022 attacks on the Uhuru movement. So we are very clear, and you all should be very clear tonight about why, the Pinellas County Commission has revoked these resources, not based on any explanation that they've given up to now, but based on a whole political history of attacking Black people, attacking this community, and standing in the way of Black people being free and self-determining. So, this is what we are clear on, and we're going to go ahead and conclude this section. We've told the story, and I am very excited to bring up this next guest. Our attorney on October 20th, Luke Lirot, on behalf of the African People's Education and Defense Fund and Black Power 96, filed a federal lawsuit in the United States District Court, Middle District of Florida, Tampa Division, charging the Pinellas County Commission with violating the Black community's right to freedom of speech and freedom of association, and with racial discrimination. So again, my honor to bring up attorney Luke Lirot to the stage. Crew.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us.
Good to be here.
And so we're going to have you talk about the lawsuit that has just been filed against the county commission. And, I'm going to just ask you a couple of questions, just about this. So first, it's been a pleasure working with you. You are not an average attorney by far. And, that you have a real, passion and determination, even spoke out at the Pinellas County Commission. So I would, again, and also a pleasure working with your team. And I know that we have some members of your team right here in the room today. So to prepare this lawsuit, and again, because of your enthusiasm and commitment to our cause. So what has drawn you or excited you about this case?
Well, the first thing that got me interested in this case was when I got a call that said after the first application had been given to the APEDF, that they decided with no notice whatsoever to rescind that. And that's what shocked me. I thought you at least should give people notice. If you're going to change your position or you're going to try to rescind a grant that you've already evaluated, that you've already given somebody, you have to give them notice. That's the fundamental nature of due process. If somebody has a right or a possession and the government wants to take it away, they got to give you notice and an opportunity to be heard. And when I saw what had happened and actually did some research to see how it had taken place, the fact that there was no notice, nothing, not even but a reference to new business, yet they still took action on it, I was outraged. And then it just picked up momentum from there, because I knew about the second application. And at that point, it was clear to me that politics had taken hold over something that should have been a very neutral, content neutral application process, that when the politicians got a hold of it, they contaminated the entire thing. And I mean, I looked at the applications that were submitted. They were outstanding. They addressed every single necessary aspect of the American Rescue Plan Act, the ARPA. It's not the county's money. It's from the federal government. And it was designed to assist nonprofits that had suffered, because during COVID, not only did people have all of the other adverse consequences of COVID, but nonprofits suffered more than anyone. People weren't donating money. It was a complete annihilation of the good work that nonprofits do, such as the APEDF. And the work that they do, I looked into that. It's astonishing. It's such a benefit to the community. And I just felt that from my background with the First Amendment, I felt that it was the least I could do to step in and try to help out.
Right on. Well, we thank you so much, Luke, for again jumping on this, the enthusiasm that you brought, and just an immediate recognition of a violation of the constitutional rights of the Black community and this station and this nonprofit to be able to carry out the work that it does. And you're right. I mean, there was no content requirement, for the application. None of the other organizations singled out for what they believe in. Only APEDF was. So, that's absolutely right. Red flag. So can you elaborate on the legal concepts or precedents that are important to this case?
Well, I think the ones that are important are the ones that you really highlighted in the earlier presentation, which is absolutely outstanding. It was thorough. It was precise. The issue here is that the government, if it's going to be considering the delivery of some benefit, it has to do so in a content neutral and overwhelmingly fair fashion. You can't say, well, I don't like your politics. I don't like your message. That's not even an option for the government. They have to look at basically the criteria, which APEDF met in stellar fashion. And then they have to say, okay, you deserve this, and this is why you get it. But in this instance, it was just so abundantly obvious that not only was it not dealing with the APEDF, it was with somebody that they felt you were associated with that had a different political viewpoint, or that through some rumor or innuendo was anti-Semitic or did this or did that. I mean, it wasn't even a specific reason. And I think if you look at the messages from the excerpts from the hearings, they don't even have a good reason. It's like, I'm going to move because of what? You know, that's it. That's the reason you think that's very laudable, very deserving group doesn't get this much needed money to do their job. It was just an outrage. So from a basic standpoint, the way that the lawsuit is laid out, you identify the parties. I gave a very clear description of all the work that APEDF had done. Obviously, you name the county because they're the governmental entity that had the responsibility not to give APEDF their money, but the ARPA money that didn't come from the county, which they try to throw off and, say, well, this is tax dollars. This is not anything to do with the county. This is money that was given to them by the federal government. Yet they still decide that they're going to punish APEDF because of some very, very vague connections that they don't like. That's content-based, and I just thought that was inappropriate. So from the outset, the first count that we raise is that this is a violation of your First Amendment rights. As a nonprofit, obviously there's some limitations on that, but you can believe what you want to believe. They don't have the right to tell you what to believe, and they definitely don't have the right to tell you that if what you believe is different than that they believe, they can punish you for it. Not an option for them. The second aspect of it was association. If you want to associate with any group, it could be any group that you want, but they felt that the group that they thought you were associated with had some kind of negative impact, and there was an ongoing criminal investigation. You're still innocent until proven guilty. And that case certainly has some unique political dimensions to it, but it's not APEDF. It's a different group. And to go through all that, we raised that as well as what we thought was a very clear racially discriminatory basis. So we've asked for an injunction. We're next going to ask the county that the court should freeze this money so they don't give it all away and say, well, gee, we don't have it anymore. We gave it away. In that instance, I think the county would still be responsible for it. But what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to get the court to freeze that and put a hold on it so that the money is there while we continue our fight. And then we're just going to ask for a preliminary injunction. I think that this is so clear cut that we have such an unbelievably clear likelihood of success. There's no doubt that this is discriminatory, that there are constitutional violations that absolutely fall within the process of giving us the right to seek the remedy that we want from the court. They've cost us irreparable harm. They've taken money away from this very, very excellent organization. And I think it's in the public interest to basically tell the county, you can't violate people's constitutional rights in this fashion without having to make up for that. And we expect the court to understand our arguments. Some of them are so clear that it just shocks the conscience that the county would even do such a thing. But I felt it would be a privilege to certainly stand up for the Constitution, which I took an oath to do many, many years ago. And it's my privilege to do so for the APEDF.
Right on. Thank you so much, Luke. And this is our last question, and really appreciate, what you just said. In terms of just acknowledging and revealing, that we have a responsibility to struggle against what the commission is doing, the precedent that it sets to say that, it can come in and intervene in any kind of way, based off if they don't like, what somebody says or does. And, if they open the door on an attacks on this organization, there's no telling what they can do, subsequent. So this is really important. And it's a fight back that, again, is saying you will not be able to do this. You won't get away with this, and you won't get away with it in the future. So what we are hearing from the county, and what are we hearing from the county, and what are the next steps going forward? In this case, you've mentioned the injunction, if there's anything else, and also a timeline, any kind of timeline that we should anticipate.
Well, right now, the county has just retained a private law firm out of Fort Lauderdale, excellent lawyers. I'm familiar with the firm. And they decided that they're going to spend their tax dollars to find somebody outside of the county to try to represent the county. I was a little surprised by that, but that's their option. And knowing this firm, I expect them to do everything they can for their client, the county. But I also think that they're ethically driven, and I think that they'll play by the rules just as I intend to do. The next step obviously will be we'll file a motion for what's called a temporary restraining order, which means we want to make sure the county doesn't give away all the money without having the court tell them, well, you know, there's merit to this case. We want you to freeze this money so that, assuming that we are the prevailing party, that money's there for us to use for the incredibly good purposes that we identified in the application. Then we're also going to ask for a preliminary injunction. Now, what that means is that we want the court essentially to advance a determination on this case right out of the box. We want them to say what the county did was so absolutely, unbelievably unconstitutional that there's enough here for us to immediately grant a preliminary injunction. If they don't, then we have discovery to take. We can certainly take the depositions of the people that came out with what we consider the slanderous statements. Where did you get that? Who did the research that you relied on? What did you do to verify any of this information? Because quite honestly, in the public records request that we made before we filed the lawsuit, which is one of the reasons it took us so long to get everything together, we had to get all the documents and, you know, not just, you know, although we did have certainly the transcripts and the footage from the hearings, we wanted to get every single communication that they had. Where did you get any basis to say what you said? And we got that, and we went through it, and I thought there would be something there. There's not much there. So it's just a shock to see what steps they would take to deprive such a valuable, wonderful organization that assists the community to the extent that the APEDF does. I was just astonished by that. So that's where we go. We do discovery, we take depositions, we ask questions under oath. And quite honestly, I don't anticipate that we're going to get a very, very clear explanation as to why the county did any of this.
Well, I know that if we don't get an explanation from them, you know, we can pretty, you know, much sum it up and, you know, provide an explanation just based off of all the evidence, you know, that we've just even discussed in this meeting. And again, I really appreciate, you know, Luke, you know, being on board. I can't think of a better person, you know, to defend APEDF and Black Power 96, you know, in this fight back. And, you know, I'm extremely confident, you know, you said they've got a good lawyer. Well, we've got the best lawyer to do this for us. And, you know, this is a very important part, you know, of this whole fight back. And you know, as you mentioned, you know, just the attacks on free speech association for APEDF and Black Power 96 radio. And it's similar to, if not, you know, the same with regard to the attacks being made on, you know, Chairman Anai and the African People's Socialist Party. So none of this is a coincidence. And, you know, we have to look at all of the context, you know, and as we struggle in. I just know that there are people right now who also really appreciate, you know, your participation and are really, and was really looking forward to, you know, being able to talk about the legal aspect of this. So as we go forward, I know that, you know, we'll continue to let the people know where we are advancing in this process. And just before we wrap, any final remarks for this program tonight?
Well, all I can tell you is that I consider it a privilege. I know that the work that you do for the community is very valuable, and nothing should stand in the way of you going through the processes to give to this community what you've worked so hard to give to the community and have done so for so long. Yes. So it's a privilege to see you do your good work, and it's a privilege to try to help you complete and continue that good work.
Yes, and we are going to continue, and we will not be stopped. As Donna and Shakky said, we shall not be moved. So thank you so much, Attorney Luke, and to your team for, again, your, you know, contribution to this incredible fight back that we are waging. And like I said, I am confident in our victory. So thank you so much for joining us this evening.
My privilege. Thank you.
Thank you. So we're going to transition now, and I want to let you know that this is part of the fight back, the legal aspect, but there is a role that you can play in, you know, making sure that this campaign is successful. And that's the part of the program that we're going to transition in tonight. How can you participate in this process? How can you ensure and support Black Power 96 in this fight against the Pinellas County Commission and making sure that APEDF gets these $100,000 in resources that are owed, to this organization and to the Black community overall. So to bring us through that process, I want to welcome up Comrade Sandy and also Comrade Mariah, who are volunteers with Black Power 96 Radio, playing multiple roles, and Comrade Sandy, who plays multiple roles inside the station as a station aficionado, expert, and engineer, and all of these things. And Comrade Mariah, who joined us on the the Black Power 96 volunteer staff, and is helping us to shape our social media and promotions work. So Uhuru, and also both of these courageous comrades who spoke virtually on Zoom at one of at the Pinellas County Commission meetings to just voice their discontent with this decision. So I want to welcome these comrades. Thank you so much for joining us. Uhuru.
Uhuru, and just salute to the leadership of Chairman Omali Shatella, the brilliant leadership of Board President Onasene Shatella, to you, Director Akilé, and also to Luke Lirot and his team to Ben and Rachel and Krista. And, I know that Attorney Lirot has won many very important, successful free speech cases. So it is very exciting that he has come forward to represent the African People's Education and Defense Fund and the Black Power 96. So it is an honor to participate in this program tonight and with the Black Power 96 project, along with Mariah, who has taken on the challenge of building Black Power 96's social media presence and is such a great presence in this work. We want to call on anyone seeing this broadcast to make your voice heard in support of this legal fight back so that Black Power Radio can receive the funding that it deserves and to set a precedent where such funding cannot be withheld based on the views or opinions of the qualified nonprofit organizations. I've been told that one of the community members who is going to just say something about why she supports Black Power 96 is in the studio and with her kids and can't, and we're running a little bit behind, and we wanted to let her come up and make her testimonial before we went into the rest of our presentation around how everyone who is watching can participate and support. Did you, it's Consuela, who is a business owner for something like 20 years in St. Pete, a very talented hairstylist, wife of Alan Perry and Dolly Boy, who is a very powerful artist and rapper. Did you want to bring Consuela on now, or shall we go ahead with our other? Is that Consuela? All right, Consuela.
Hello. How everybody doing this evening?
Great.
Hello.
So glad you can join us. What do you think about Black Power 96, and what does it mean to you?
What I think about Black Power 96 is what it stands for: Black Power, for the people, by the people. And this radio station is a huge impact on the community. For the things that they do, they're not just speaking it, talking it, they're moving it, they're making things happen. And it's very impactful and very powerful. So just to see the things that they have done thus far is very touching. They have been a very inspiration into my life, me and my husband, within the community, and just giving back support with our nonprofit and just the different things I've seen them have done over in the community. It's which excellent. The only radio station that I know of, and I have some involvement with few radio stations, but as small but very powerful.
Well, thank you so much. We just really appreciate you coming on, and we hope that everyone who is watching and listening, will agree with you and decide to make a contribution today. Is there anything that you want to share in terms of what you're doing, what you have going on, what Dolly Boy has going on? Please do that.
Yes, one thing I would say, like for instance, we have a youth event, which we just started we've been started our youth organization, which is called the Real Youth Alliance. And we are having our first economic Empowered Convention this Saturday, November 18th. And just to say what the Uhuru has done, Black Power, everything about this organization, we will be preparing our food right here at the home office at the base. And who's doing stuff like that? Who's really giving back and supporting what we're doing in the community? Because a lot of times we say we want to do things to make things happen for the community, but nobody's really doing it. People get rally up, they get with these cliques and different things and get money to fund their own purpose, but it's not for the community. And what I can say, the things that has happened for us this far, being a part of this movement, it's been a very impact and helpful for us. We'll be, like I said, preparing our food Saturday morning to be able to feed 50 kids. Well, we'll be giving them a financial literacy. We'll be making sure that they understand what it is to be prepared for life itself, especially the different things that goes on that hinders our community. We already know what a lot of things is taking place. Families are losing their homes, financial income, different things that's going on. We want to help prepare our youth to understand what society has bringing upon us and what you can do to navigate through it. So we will have a source of resources and information to help our youth to understand what they need to navigate through life.
Well, that's what Black Power 96 is all about. Do you want to just let people know how they can get in touch with you?
Yes, we could be reached at our Real Youth Alliance, and we could be contacted at 727-851-2781. We are taking donations, sponsorships where our children, which this was a surprise for the youth. A lot of them don't know this, but we're going to be sowing a seed into our youth. We're not just going to give them the information, the education. We're going to show them what we're standing for and what we're meaning. So each child, 50 kids, will get a stipend. Whether we get support from the community or not, it's going to happen. We're going to make sure each child walk away with ability to start their accounts if they don't have one, add savings to their account if they have one, but also teach them how to invest to make sure that they understand what life is all about. So we can.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Consuela.
And I can have
everyone
that dropped into the chat or whatever, for people if they want to support. But I would stand here to say, I would love to see each live viewer, listener, anywhere, anyone to support Black Power and the movement, the Uhuru movement, everything that they stand for. I already know we spend money all the time on nothing. Let's spend our money on something that's going to make a difference for our people.
Well, thank you so much again. And this is the community that is served by Black Power 96, and it's just an honor to be a part of that. So thank you, Consuelo. We want to go ahead and return to our PowerPoint, where our slides, where we just want to be able to show people what we are. We have a goal tonight to raise $2,000 for the legal expenses. We just heard from the attorney, Luke Lirot, who's pressing this case with the Pinellas County Commission to force them to give the Black community what is owed. And so we have a goal of raising $2,000 tonight towards legal expenses. And there's ways that you can donate. You can go online at blackpower96.org/donate. You can also donate via Cash App. Send to $sign Black Power 96. You can write checks to Black Power 96 and mail them to 1245 18th Avenue South. It's all up on the screen there, St. Pete, 33705. Or if you're watching from the St. Pete Bay Area, stop by the station and bring your donation. And a lot of people do that in the community. And please let us know in the chat or whatever platform you're viewing from how much you are donating so that we can thank you. And if you can't do it right now, but you want to make a pledge to donate at an upcoming date, let us know that too, and how we can reach you to follow up. So I want to welcome Mariah, who have already sung her praises, and yeah, Mariah.
Hello, everyone. This is Mariah. Of course, I wanted to just share a little bit about why I started volunteering for Black Power 96. I stumbled upon Black Power 96 online, and just the energy, the message, and the community focus immediately, that's what resonated with me. And I've always believed in the power of community-driven initiatives, and Black Power 96 it's just not just a radio station. I look at it as like a platform, amplifying our Black voices, our stories, and just the culture all over there. Volunteering here, I've had the chance to be a part of something that's even bigger than myself. That's what I always say. It's just not about the radio, and it's not about the empowerment and it's education and the unity. It's all of it there, and the sense of purpose is just incredible here. And from just the producing the shows to organizing events, just every task contributes to a powerful message and movement. And that's just something that I'm so excited to be a part of here. And the connections I made within the community has been just almost, I could say, life-changing. It's inspiring to see some of the people come together and just really uplifting each other. And volunteering for the Black Power 96 isn't just a choice. It's actually, I feel like it's a calling, and it's about the creating a positive change and being a part of a movement that really celebrates Black excellence. And I'm just proud to be a part of that. And remember, when you donate to Black Power 96 today, you are supporting Black Power 96 radio station manager, Mr. Eddie Maultsby Jr., and his right to express his opinions and to bring the issues facing the Black community onto the airwaves. And just kind of going on a little bit, we're familiar with DJ Eddie, and Mr. Eddie is just 100% blind and is a shining example of the opportunities created in the institutions of African People's Education and Defense Fund for anyone in the Black community to rise to their full potential. And the Pinellas County Commissioners don't want a blind working class Black man to succeed. They don't want to see the Black community succeed and thrive, because then they can't make money off of high rents, developer kickbacks, and helping their bosses to get rich off of the stolen labor of African workers who keep in a desperate situation. So we just ask you now to donate to blackpower96.org to fund this lawsuit that is defending station manager Eddie Maultsby and the Black community's right to freedom of speech and freedom of association.
Yes, and when you donate to Black Power 96 today, you're also raising your voice to defend Black people's right to speak out against gentrification and the destruction of this proud and once thriving African community. In St. Pete, if you're not familiar, they destroyed the Black community known as the gas plant area to build a sports stadium. They hate a dome that some call the tomb. And today it continues on where Black families are being driven out to make room for high rises. So, donating to Black Power 96 and helping to fund this lawsuit is a part of pushing back that gentrification.
Okay. During the hurricane season, Black Power 96 broadcasts critical preparedness tips along with up-to-the-minute news on shelter and transportation. The station was lucky to retain power during Hurricane Irma in 2017, but lost power during Hurricanes Ian in 2022 and Idalia in 2023. During Florida's frequent storms, hyperlocal news updates can make the difference between life or death. And yet the Pinellas County Commission really wants to deprive the Black community the basic resources to keep our community informed. When you donate today, you support the lawsuit that will force them to do the right thing and restore this funding that is owed to the Black community. And just want to kind of touch bases again that much of the volunteer work that I do at the Black Power Radio involves promoting the artists who win the station's local going global contest. And when you donate to Black Power 96 Legal Fund today, you are supporting the ability of the talented artists in our community to get airtime and build their careers. We're going to hear now from some of the artists who have lent their support to Black Power 96.
Gerald Austin, this performer has been performing for many, many years, and two-time Grammy winner and inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with David and Troy and the Manhattans. And Gerald, hang out with us, okay?
You got it.
Why do you think people that are watching everywhere should donate to Black Power?
You know something? I think they should donate because first of all, is a positive organization. You're about being and doing and helping our community, and it's very important that we support each other, business-wise, organization-wise, foundation-wise. We should support our own, because in supporting our own, we can grow. And that's something that's very, very, very important.
That's Gerald Austin, two-time Grammy winner and inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Go to blackpower96.org/donate. That's blackpower96.org/donate, or use our Cash App at $blackpower96. I want to ask you, why do you support Black Power?
Oh, oh man, that's one of those questions that has got so many answers that was just thrown at me like all of a sudden,
why do you think people should support Black Power yourself?
You guys support Black artists. You support your community. You give. The people are genuine. I've met most of you guys. It's not just something that you put together where you're trying to make a couple of dollars. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen your facilities and everything. It's geared around helping the people grow and giving us a place where we can find support. And that's just not musically, that's food, clothing, shelter, exposure. You're there for them, standing up for the rights of the people. And, on all platforms, politics and just you're fighting to help African people get their fair share, and that's something that I support, and that's something that's a true reason why I feel most people should support you guys.
Well,
definitely. I love y'all.
Yes, this radio station here has been a very big inspiration in my life. I didn't even know it existed until I had heard one of my friends release one of their CDs on there, and he was telling me about it. And that's Derek the Change Man Smith. And he had told me about, whenever you get a chance to get your music together and stuff, go see Blind Eddie, go talk to him. And he's on blackpower96.org. And I was like, okay, I'll try it. But I tell you, ever since I have met you, Eddie, and have listened to my music on this radio station, I didn't know it was so broad. It is all over the world, and it has really been big for me. It has encouraged me to keep going. It has encouraged me to never give up, no matter what I'm going through. We sisters and brothers in the vision world. You understand what I'm saying? And this has really taught me that there is nothing too hard for God. There is nothing too hard for us to continue to fight and live for our goals and, our visions. And with Black Power 96.3 FM radio station has really, really catapulted my career. And I thank God for y'all. Y'all have really been a blessing to me. And in order for it to continue to bless others, we got to keep y'all on the air.
Thank y'all so much. I want to say this before I go up out of here. Thank y'all so much. Florida has got me in, taken me in, showed me so much love. I love you guys for that radio station. Y'all keep playing my music. I do love that. Thank you so much. I can't say it enough.
Yeah, and if you could tell us, why you support and why people should support Black Power 96 Radio, we want to hear it from you.
Back to DJ Eddie. He is amazing. When it comes to helping, when it comes to sources, he's the one to reach out to. This station needs to be on the air, period, because you play great music, you help the community all the time, and you do things for the independent artists. This artist is out here that has great talent that's being overlooked. So by you playing there, giving them a chance to be heard and playing their music on air and reaching lots more people, that's a blessing itself, because that music can come across someone else's hand, and there it is. So you can make someone famous one day. So that's really, really a blessing, and that's why you guys need to stay on air, because you do awesome things for the community.
Black Power Radio with Eddie Maultsby Jr.
My name is Eddie Lee Maultsby Sr. For many years, I was the manager of the Florida Spiritual Labs, a group we started out in 1962, and we traveled all over the country, doing such songs as If I Could Hear My Mother Pray Again, All of These Years, Where Have the Missionaries Gone, and many, many more. We traveled north, south, east, and west, North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, Mississippi, California, all over the country, singing God praises. I am so proud of my son, Eddie Maultsby Jr.
Y'all gave me an outlet when certain DJs wouldn't play me, and I was #1 on y'all radio station for a couple weeks with Heather Marie with Like That, and y'all supported me with open arms like family. And if I get missing or something or whatever, y'all always find a way to contact me, either kind of way. I don't know. If I get gone or something, y'all be like, come back. Eddie will call me or somebody from the camp at down there where y'all at be calling me like, where you at, Coco? Like, come get your awards. So I really appreciate that my work get appreciated from y'all. And thank y'all for opening doors for me.
But if I could, just one shout out for you guys at blackpowerradio.org. And I'm going to ask everyone there to help me congratulating you guys for hosting this event to unify the African community and for the self-determination of the African community. So that being said, we thank you so much. One love.
Thank you.
Stay safe.
I mean, well, so Black media, whether it's radio, newspaper, television, and the other multiple digital sources of media that exist, is very important to our movement, has been historically and always will be. It's the way in which we sound the trumpet for the culture and help folks to align their ideas and concepts. And so supporting Black media supports that. And to that point, everybody should be supporting our independent voices, wherein, you know, we are determining for ourselves what the message is we want to promote our.
Uhuru. Hey, yo, thanks for supporting Black Power 96. Real music for real people making real revolution. All power to the Black community. African working class stand up. Uhuru.
All right. Take it
Black
away,
Power
Mariah.
96. Oh, go ahead, Sandy. Go ahead.
No, you got the next slide.
Okay. Black Power 96 also serves our community with unique access to the world of media communications. And this station has provided free training and internships to over 50 local residents, ranging from high school students to senior citizens. And when you donate today to fund Black Power 96 Legal Fight Back, you are supporting economic development for the Black community.
That's right. So again, today, our goal tonight is to raise $2,000 towards Black Power 96's legal expenses to fund the federal lawsuit that the station and the African People's Education Defense Fund has filed, charging the Pinellas County Commission with violating the Black community's right to freedom of speech and freedom of association, and charging the commissioners with racial discrimination. So we are going to hear from a couple more of the Black Power 96 volunteers and community partners that we're really looking forward to. But first, we want to thank some of the donors who have donated so far and see where we are at with our goal. And I just want to do the first one, which is to thank MQ out of Gainesville, who has donated $10 tonight, but MQ is already a $25 a month sustainer. And you can become a sustaining member of Black Power 96 that gives the station a reliable monthly income, and that is really important. So thank you to Q.
Right, Sandy, and we have Lisa out of Minneapolis that donated $100.
All right, Lisa. And Comrade Dennis has pledged that he is going to put in $25. And Dennis, I think, is out of Battle Creek, I believe. Longtime friend and supporter of Black Power 96. Thank you, Dennis, also known as Sayero.
Okay, I see that Jesse out of St. Louis is pledged $50.
Jesse Neville, that's one of the Uhuru Three. Thank you, Chair Jesse, the chair of Uhuru Solidarity Movement. Thank you so much. And then Len, also, who I know is with the Uhuru Solidarity Movement, has contributed $10 today. Thank you, Len.
Okay, and we have Paul out of Frederick, $25. And this donation is inspired by the APSP and USM comrades I met at the Black and Black Coalition on November 4th. Uhuru.
All right. And then, oh, wow, we have from Sarah in Minneapolis, a new monthly sustaining member who is going to be donating monthly to a total of 300 over the year. So that's 300 from Sarah. Thank you so much.
Oh, wow. Okay. And we have Matum out of Philadelphia at $25 donated.
And then Ali out of Philadelphia, $50. Thank you, Ali.
And I want to thank Paulette out of Florida at $25.
And then Consuela, who we just saw, has contributed $100. Thank you so much, Consuela, for supporting the station.
And Janice at $25 with the support. Thank you.
And Serene, who is one of our friends from the Pacifica Network, who's been a great friend to the station for quite some time, has pledged $25. Thank you, Serene.
And we have Raya out of Chicago at $50.
All right. Thank you, Raya. And Diane out of Gainesville, $25. Thank you, Diane.
And we do have another monthly sustainer here, Michael. And that is $5 there a month, and that's out of Madison. And I do see a donation also from Michael at $60 this time. Go ahead, Michael.
So we are at our total so far almost to halfway of $905. I'm going to put in $100. I am so honored and proud and support this station, and that brings us up to our halfway mark. So we can do this. I know there's more people on the line who want to help us to meet our goal. So please put in your pledges and your donations. And before we go any further, we want to hear from one of our tremendous new volunteers there at Black Power 96, Loria, who is a local volunteer who comes into the station, does everything that is asked of her, assists Mr. Eddie in so many ways. Welcome, Loria.
Uhuru, I just want to say, all I want to say is that they don't really care about us, all right? All I want to say is that they don't really care about us, but we have to care about us because we have skin in the game. I don't care what your actual skin tone or skin hue might be. If it's done to one, it's done to all. So we all need to get together, donate, and keep this station on the air, keep the African People's Education and Defense Fund going, support the entire nation of the Uhurus, excuse me. And I volunteer because I do have skin in the game, okay, by me and my family and always. And we've been gentrified to death here in the city of St. Petersburg, Florida. And it all ties into what the commission is doing to the, to the radio station and to everybody else. Because if you're not rich and powerful and can go back there and play cards with them in the back room, you don't get nothing. And I've seen in my own neighborhood, I've been in my neighborhood since 1967 on and off. And, I've been there here lately for the last going on 30 years. Well, the neighborhood changed overnight. I'm a stranger in my own place, and that is not right. So we have to come together collectively and communicatively to support Black Power 96.3 FM, because they are doing a great service. As you see tonight, we're all over the world. So give. I pledge some money. You can pledge some money. Everybody give $10. Thank you.
Thank you, Loria. It's such a pleasure to work with you as another volunteer at the station, and it's really great to see you on the Zoom. Let's see, where are we at, Mariah? So we have a couple of station supporters on the line. So we have Jennifer, and again, go to blackpower96.org/donate. Donate generously, give what you can. Let us know in the chat what you're doing. This is the best place. I mean, yeah, this is the best thing that we can do with our resources, is to invest in the future. So we do have two more station supporters on the line that we wanted to share with everyone. Jennifer Nicholson is with the Social Sunday Spotlights, which has partnered with Black Power 96 to give local artists a live performance platform. And Jamie Simpson is a producer and host of Black Power 96 radio program called Reparations in Action, White Lies Shattered, coming from the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. So if they can both come on, let's go to Jennifer first and then Jamie. Jennifer, can you tell us what Black Power 96 radio means to you? And then Jamie, can you tell us why white people should support Black Power Radio?
Hey, this is Jennifer. Okay, there we go. Can you see me? All right. So hi, everybody. My name is Jennifer, and I represent Social Sundays, and we recently just partnered with Black Power 96. And so I've been knowing DJ Eddie for a couple years, and he is a wonderful person. He really inspires me because he is 100% blind, and he works at that radio station 10, 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, you know. And if a blind man could do what he does, he inspires me because that means we all have a gift inside of us, and we are so powerful. And he is just inspiration. So I don't mind partnering with you guys because I know what you guys do for the community. I know that you guys move with a great heart and great intentions, and that you want to see the Black community thrive. And so what I do is I have an organization. It's called Social Sunday Spotlight. And what we do is we allow local artists, creators, community leaders, or anybody that's in this community that's doing something amazing, we give them an opportunity to be spotlighted. And we showcase their talent. So we give a biography about the artist or the creator or the community leader or this wonderful, great person. We make them have an hour to shine. And we let them showcase their talent. We let them talk. We allow them so much creativity. And we just want to show how great people are, because a lot of us would say that, there's not support in the St. Petersburg community. And I have to disagree. When you got a channel, when you have a radio station like Black Power, there's support. And what we're doing, we're showing you guys that we support you. So if there's anybody out here who feels like they are not getting the support, then I want you guys to please reach out to Social Sundays and I'm sorry. I just want you to reach out to us because we are in the community and we are supporting you guys.
It's so great to have you on, Jennifer. I know that last night, Director Akilé, who was hosting, got to speak and participate in your program. She said it was incredible. Yes. Maybe she'll say something about it when she comes back on, so I won't take that. But thank you so much. The station just really appreciates the relationship with Social Sunday and the effort that, it's very humbling to me coming from the white community, where I know that all the resources, all the tremendous talent in the African community that just gets crushed down or gets stolen by and appropriated by white people who then go make money off of it. And, to be able to support here the talent of the African community on its own terms, defining for itself, is very, very powerful. So just appreciate you. And Do you want to, and any last words before we go to Jamie?
I just want you guys to continue to support Black Power 96. We are definitely a supporter. You will always get a generous donation from Social Sundays on a monthly basis because we support what you do in the community. We support that you allow our artists to be on the radio, to get interviewed, to have music on the radio. So we support you guys 1,000%. And plus we love DJ Eddie. So that's where you get our support at right there as well.
Everybody does. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you again so much. And so let's go to Comrade Jamie. And hey, Jamie, why should white people like us support Black Power Radio?
Hey, Uhuru, Sandy, Uhuru, Mariah. Wow, it's been such a great program. There's so many answers to that question. You know, I'm a host and a volunteer producer on Black Power 96 of a radio program called Reparations in Action. And that's a program where we believe that reparations is the main question of our time. And it's one that white people must take responsibility to take action around. And so that's one reason, is that it's a stance of reparations, contributing to Black Power 96. It puts us on a solid footing on the right side of history, you know, to leave behind our legacy of being part of the lynch mob, of being colonizers, and to embrace humanity, embrace the future which belongs to African people and the oppressed and colonized of the world. And it's also something that, you know, this is such a powerful program tonight. And I mean, so I'm so honored to be part of it. You meet such great people like DJ Eddie Maultsby, you know, Jalali, people like yourself, Sandy, director Akilé, Anai. I mean, this is such powerful people, forces in our community and in the world. And this station represents the Black freedom movement. You know, it's a radio station that's not just explaining the world, it's changing the world. And when that comes under attack, you can bet that freedom for everyone is in jeopardy. As Chairman Omali Yeshitela has said, if Black people do not have freedom of speech, nobody has freedom of speech. And that's exactly what we're seeing coming under attack with this really foul and underhanded attack by the Pinellas County Commission revoking this grant. So it's something that we have to take seriously. And it's just such a pleasure and a privilege to be part of the glorious fight back against this attempt to silence the independent voice of the African working class. So I want to make a personal appeal to any white people listening out there in St. Petersburg or beyond. Contribute to this webinar, listen to Black Power 96, support Black Power 96.
Uhuru, thank you, Jamie. Thank you so much. And wow, we are doing very well on our pledges, Mariah. When we went to back over to hear from more people, we had a Mr. Eddie himself, who everyone is just so enamored with, rightfully so, because of what he represents, of always taking care of the community. He wants to take care of the radio station that he captains. And so he is becoming a $20 a month sustainer. So that means that amounts to $240 over the year.
That's awesome. And I see Ruby out of Philadelphia gave $50 donation.
Thank you, Ruby. And Stephanie out of Oakland, $25 donation. Thank you, Stephanie.
Oh, wow. We have Ona Zena and Omali Yeshitela, $500, Sandy.
What? Oh my gosh. Throwing down the gauntlet. That is, wow. That's our leadership. Omali Yeshitela, Chairman Omali, and Board President Onezene Yeshitela, just showing tremendous, support for this institution and the work of DJ Eddie and the work of all the volunteers that are making this station happen to make a contribution of $500. Thank you so much.
We have Denise out of Silver Spring, $25.
Thank you, Denise.
Thank you, Denise.
Happen to know that Denise also has a radio show that, gosh, I should have it in front of me of what station that's on, and I don't, but it's also a radio broadcaster. So it's great to see Denise come on the line. And I want to thank Kristen out of Spokane Valley. Hey, Kristen, $25 donation. Great to see you. Great to see you on the call.
And we have Penny out of St. Louis, $50. Thank you, Penny.
Director Akilé reminded me, WPFW, it is where Denise has her show, and you know, the very close, warm, sort of fraternal or cisternal, whatever, relationship between Black Power 96 and WPFW, one of the Pacific stations, who actually live streamed the Black People's March on the White House this past weekend. So appreciate that radio station as well.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. She did a sustaining, so that's a sustaining membership. We have her down twice. So I don't know if that's a donation and a sustaining, but wow, sustaining, that is awesome.
Okay, and I do see that FoFeet out of St. Louis did $25. Thank you, FoFeet, and thank you for everything earlier.
Thank you, FoFeet, and we are actually going to hear from her to close out this program. She did a special poem just for this fight back. So FoFeet, talented artist and spoken word poet. Am I next? Okay, and Redbeard, Comrade Redbeard, longtime supporter and friend and member of the Uhuru movement, donating $100, and he is putting that in as for the walkathon fundraiser in honor of Don Cavallini. Thank you.
Thank you, Redbeard. And we also have Robert here out of Collegeville, $20 donated.
Wow, you guys, we have exceeded our goal by $415. We have raised $2,415 towards the legal fund. Doesn't mean you have to stop. Let's keep the donations coming. Keep spreading this. This will be posted so people who didn't get to tune in live can still have an opportunity. So please share this if you're on the YouTube or the Facebook. And we made our goal, Mariah.
We made it, Cindy.
Awesome, yay. So thank you. We thank everyone so much, and we turn it back over to Director Akilé.
Uhuru, Sandy, Uhuru, Mariah, our amazing appeals team. Thank you so much for leading us through and exceeding our fundraising goal. That is so powerful, and it's not a small feat. And, you know, for everybody, you know, on this call, since this attack happened, we have been, you know, working to raise resources. We have annual fund drives that keep the station on air, and we had to double down our fundraising efforts to be able to, you know, cover these legal expenses to go into and have this strategy as a part of our fight back. So it's no small feat. We want to really appreciate every contribution that you all have made and for sticking with us, you know, for this very powerful program. And I want to just again salute everybody who's donated and give a special shout out to Chairman Amali Eshatella, Deputy Chair Ona Zane Eshatella, you know, just putting it putting it in practice, you know, just in terms of the support, the tremendous leadership and vision, you know, behind the station, and hasn't just stopped there, but has, you know, always shown tremendous support for this radio station and for people throughout, you know, the US and throughout the world who donated, you know, today, showing the power, the reach of Black Power 96 radio, because we're not just something, a station just accessible in St. Petersburg, Florida. It's also accessible throughout the world. You saw General Nobody RBG all the way in occupied Azania, known as South Africa, listening to Black Power 96, and they do that because they've downloaded the Black Power 96 radio app, which you can do and listen to us everywhere it is that you are. And I see Comrade Sight says that she's donating $20 tonight. So Uhuru, Comrade Sight, keeping it going. We do not have to stop. these legal expenses and the overall fundraising for Black Power 96 Radio to keep this station on air and to keep the station fighting for the people. You know, there does not have to be an end to the donations tonight. So keep making those donations. And I'm excited. I'm going to stop talking, get out of the way for a second so that I can bring up the man of the hour, the anticipated station manager, Comrade Eddie Maultsby. So Uhuru, Comrade Eddie, welcome to tonight's program. And I know you're going to give us some fiery words as we move to end this tonight. So Uhuru.
Yes, Uhuru, correct. Akilé and I appreciate you and everybody that's given to Black Power 96.3 radio station. I just want to say the importance of giving and donating to Black media. That is just so important that we continue to do that. This is a show tonight about fighting back, and we definitely are fighting back against any entity that will come against our African community. You heard it, I'll fight tooth and nail for my community. I was born and raised here in St. Petersburg, Florida, and I love this community. I love people, and I'm going to continue to do what I do to support this station and people, African people that have been dispersed everywhere across the world. And I want to tell you that through my own self and what I'm going through is something very unique. Because a lot of people live 70 and 80 years and even leave this planet without doing what they were intended to do. And that is why I'm so passionate. I have, since I met the Uhuru movement and this radio station, I found my purpose. People don't find their purpose in life. They search every day, month after month. So many turn to narcotics, drugs, and all of it anything that they can do. Looking, searching, I found my purpose. My purpose is to help my African people and to help this radio station do what it is doing, putting out the message of Amalia Satella, putting out the message of the African peoples anywhere, wherever they are. I say it all the time, and when I say it, I mean it. You have a seat at the table. When you knock on this door, Black Power 96.3 radio station, the first person you're probably going to see is me. If not, you'll see our receptionist, Loria. But I put it out there so you can come and have a seat to the table. This is your radio station. You should support your very own. Why wouldn't you do that? You support your kids, you support your family, you support everything else in life. Support this radio station because this is your baby. This is your family. This is your community. This is what you own. You should prove that by donating. And I want to appreciate everybody that has donated from A to Z, and from whoever is going to donate after this program. Keep sharing, keep sharing. We need your support. Fight back. That is what this all is about.
Yes.
Behind us, it says,
not just explaining the world.
We're changing it.
Yes.
Uhuru,
Mr. Eddie, he said, fist up, fight back. And that's exactly what we're doing. That's exactly what you all are helping us to do with your contributions on today. And as always, people are throwing up the flame emojis, Mr. Eddie, the heart emojis. People love station manager Eddie Maultsby, who makes it happen, gets it done for the people.
Talk slow.
Oh, yes. Yes, that's something we say around here. Yes, I want to join with President Matamela, who says, Uhuru, defend Black Power 96. Uhuru, Matamela is the president of the International People's Democratic Uhuru Movement. I also just wanted to also recognize comrades Jesse Neville and Penny Hess, who, along with Chairman Amalia Satella, make up the Uhuru 3, who are, currently have been attacked by the U.S. government, as well as the African People's Socialist Party and Uhuru movement, on attacks on free speech, on, their right to free speech, to support the right of African people to fight for their liberation. And, these comrades, this movement is, fighting alongside and with the Uhuru 3, demanding to drop the charges. And these comrades are here and also made a contribution on tonight. So thank you so much to, these courageous comrades, on the front lines and, expressing, their unity and support with the Black Power 96 fight back. And also I see Comrade Lauren out of Lexington just said, let's see, did I get that wrong? I'm sorry, I meant Comrade Courtney, my bad, says, I donated $10. Uhuru, Comrade Courtney, thank you so much for your contribution today. And I want to go ahead and move to our announcements. We have some important upcoming announcements. Part of them include an effort to, continue raising resources for the legal fight back. So let's take a look at some of these announcements. On December 2nd in St. Petersburg, Florida, we are having the Get Out That Bed 5K walk for Black Power. And, the person who came up with that brilliant slogan is none other than Mr. Eddie Maultsby. Get out that bed, on the air, you hear him saying it. And I've heard people say, this is my motivation. Every time he says get out that bed, I get up, in the morning and do what it is that I have to do. So we're calling on people to get out that bed, come to 1245 18th Avenue South in St. Petersburg, Florida on December 2nd. And we're going to talk to you about how you can become, a part of this walkathon and what it is that you need to do. So first and foremost, you would go to blackpower96.org/walkathon to access all of this information. So about the 5K walk for Black Power, we're calling on you to come together with fellow Black Power 96 radio listeners, supporters, and community members for a powerful event dedicated to promoting Black Power and unity. Lace up your sneakers and get ready to walk for a cause that matters. So again, Saturday, December 2nd, 10 a.m., we'll be at the Uhuru House meeting at 1245 18th Avenue South, St. Petersburg, Florida. So there are several ways to participate. When you go to blackpower96.org/walkathon, you can click on register to walk. There is a $20 registration fee, which gets you a BP96 swag bag, which will include a t-shirt and other BP96 swag goodies. And there is also general participant registration as well available at the register to walk tab, which we're showing you right there. So again, go to blackpower96.org/walkathon. Go ahead and register. $20 for your participation in the walk in your swag bag. And also you can click on donate/fundraise. So we want everybody participating in the walkathon to unite with doing a fundraiser. So you can say, what your overall goal is for the walkathon, what you want to call on your friends and family members to contribute as you walk during the 5K. So there is steps on, how to set up your fundraiser for the walkathon. And again, you can find all this information at blackpower96.org/walkathon. And then there is a business sponsor package that we are offering. So new sponsors, for the walkathon, you will get your official logos printed on all promotional material, a promotional item included in the BP96 swag bag offered to all paid walkathon registrants, your promotional material featured at the Black Power 96 radio booth, a thank you and naming of your business/organization as one of our sponsors on air, and sponsorship promotion on our website and social media pages. So that package, all that information is available again, blackpower96.org/walkathon. You can become a business sponsor and get, all of those goodies offered to businesses and organizations, who want to be a sponsor of this walkathon. So that is coming up December 2nd. So right away, we'll be working off that turkey and stuffing at the Get Out That Bed 5K walkathon. So again, blackpower96.org/walkathon. Join us. Fundraise, do your own fundraiser, reach out to your friends and family and tell them to support your efforts at the Get Out That Bed 5K walk for Black Power. All right. So also local going global, top 5 at 5. We've talked about this program. For anybody listening who knows an artist, is an artist, this show happens with DJ Eddie Maultsby on Fridays at 5 p.m. Eastern. Unsigned artists, please submit your music to submitmusic@blackpower96.org. And listeners, you can vote or text your artist's name to 888-979-BP96. That is, I want my artist to win, Artist of the Week top 5 at 5. So go ahead, artists, those, if you know an artist, make sure they get connected with the local going global. We have Amali Taught Me Sunday Study, which is a program that airs on Black Power 96 Radio. And you can also subscribe to the Burning Spur TV on YouTube to catch every episode of this, the Amali Taught Me Sunday Study, led and live with Chairman Amali Eshitela, leader of the African Nation and the Worldwide African Revolution, founder and leader of the African People's Socialist Party. That's Sundays at 10 a.m. Eastern, Amali Taught Me. And of course, Black Power 96 FM radio, a project of the African People's Education and Defense Fund, not just explaining the world, but changing it. And this is a radio station in the hands of the Black community. We air on 96.3 FM dial in St. Petersburg, Florida, but we also stream online at blackpower96.org and on the Black Power 96 mobile app. So if you do not have that app, please go ahead and just download it right now. Black Power 96 for Apple and Android. You can find it easy. And then you can listen to the incredible station manager, Eddie Maultsby, and all of the dynamic programmers on Black Power 96 Radio. For free. And one of the programmers that you can hear is Diasporic Music with Norman Otis Richmond, aka Jalali, and Melinda Francis, aka Molly Docu Vixen, Sundays at 2 p.m. Eastern in the as Jalali says it, in the not so great White North, aka Canada. These comrades engineer their show. So again, that's Diasporic Music, Sundays at 2 p.m. Eastern. And again, continue to donate to blackpower96.org/donate. Share this out with your friends, your family, supporters, to let them know to donate to the station that supports you, that supports them. And that there are several ways to do that. Of course, Cash App, Black Power 96 as well as online, and making checks out to Black Power 96, 1245 18th Avenue South, St. Pete, Florida, 33705. And the Hands Off Uhuru, Hands Off Africa campaign, we talked about the FBI attacks against the African People's Socialist Party and the Uhuru movement. And to join, to participate in this fight back, you can go to handsoffuhuru.org to donate, to volunteer, to get involved, again, to become a part of the counteroffensive, to push back these state attacks that are being made on the Uhuru movement and the broader African community, you know, and attacking the democratic rights of African people, and namely the constitutional, the First Amendment right to freedom of speech. So join the fight back and demand the charges be dropped against Chairman Amalia Shatella, Penny Hess, and Jesse Neville. Also, get a copy of The Verdict is In, Reparations Now, the 40th anniversary edition of the report from the 1982 World Tribunal on Reparations to African People. Chairman Amalia Shatella's newest book you can order now at theburningspear.store. And you can also order any of the other chairman's writings. His works are available at theburningspear.store, including Vanguard, The Advanced Attachment of the African Revolution, and An Uneasy Equilibrium. If you want to understand what's happening in the world today, Chairman Amalia Shatella wrote about it, and you can read about it in these books available at theburningspear.store. And more merch available at theburningspear.store. Again, go to this website for, you know, all the information, the literature and things that, you know, you want to read, the philosophy of the Uhuru movement. You can find all of that material at theburningspear.store. Also, subscribe to the Burning Spear newspaper, 12 months of the Spear delivered straight to your door, to your email inbox, or both. And just to say that the Burning Spear newspaper turns 55 next month, December 1968, where the Burning Spear newspaper appeared in mimeograph form, founded by Chairman Amalia Shatella, the oldest Black Power newspaper in the country and in the world. And the Burning Spear newspaper is your newspaper, your source of news and information about the world. So gift a subscription, get a subscription for yourself. Print subscriptions, $25, digital subscription, $25, or print and digital combo for just $40. Go to theburningspear.com/subscribe. And of course, sell the Burning Spear. Purchase a bundle to distribute in your community. You can go to theburningspear.store. And Uhuru Foods and Pies. Uhuru Pies, it is Uhuru Pie season. If we go to the next slide, we can learn some more information. So the taste of an independent African economy. Since 1981, Uhuru Pies have been a part of building an independent economy for African people everywhere. They are made from scratch with quality ingredients and baked fresh. So we've got these holidays coming up, families coming in, treat these families right, get them an Uhuru pie. And if you're in St. Petersburg, Florida, pies can be picked up on Fridays from 1 to 5 p.m. at the Uhuru House, and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Saturday morning market at the Rowdies / Al Lang Stadium. So do not miss the holiday pie season. Get your pies, man. The sweet potato, the chocolate bourbon pecan. I've named all my favorites here, but there's so many to choose from. So support an independent African economy. Get you an Uhuru pie today. So that will include all of our announcements. And that brings us to our closer tonight, a very powerful sister by the name of FoFeet Al-Kibalon, the poet FoFeet, who is right there in St. Louis, Missouri. And Comrade FoFeet, you know, really wanted her to be on this program as well, because she also knows what it's like and participates in radio and, you know, has had a long history with radio and is a talented cultural worker as well. So very excited. This has been a powerful, powerful program. Your participation, has been totally, valuable in all. And I also just want to recognize all of the production work and the volunteering, engineering coming from Comrade Smiley, coming from Comrade Loria, Elijah, Comrade Lisa, Sandy, Mariah, and the Black Power 96 volunteer staff who helped put all of this together, our attorney, Luke Lirot, and of course, our dynamic leadership, Chairman Amalia Ishitella and Deputy Chair, President Onizane Ishitella. So thank you all so much, and can't think of a better treat than listening to the poet FoFeet. So without further ado, let's bring on FoFeet Al-Kibalan, Uhuru.
Uhuru, comrades. This is really an honor. I want to salute Chairman O'Malley and Deputy Chair Onizane and the whole staff of the Black Power Radio 96. It is amazing. I just finished this poem. So it's called The DJ Host. I've been writing poetry for 27 years and a spoken word artist for 26, hosting 3 internet radio shows in St. Louis, Missouri, starting in VA 2020, started in September of 2021. 4 feet deep. I've learned everything. I learned that everything goes. Needing to say a lot about everything right and wrong, I said it in a song or a poem. I wanted listeners I would never know to fill their brains with what they heard. The joy of giving my all was being put out into the air with no fear. I wondered who I was helping and who I was not, hoping something I said was filling everybody's pot. I was cooking something and didn't know what it was. I just knew I had to do it because somebody needed it. As they listened to me on the air, drawing the lines of entertainment, happiness, and despair, the community is listening to what is said and done, setting the culture, letting them know they are the ones that matter. We are working for our people. Listening to the thoughts and ideas DJs are sending to the world. We know the people see us in their families with their eyes closed and hearts open. As they wait for us to say or sing the next rhyme, it's all about them hearing themselves on the airline. People are feeling DJs as DJs are feeling them, guiding and listening thoughts, hard times, education, and confrontation. The radio speaks to the people need. They thought nobody was listening. Now everybody knows we hear their cries and their pain. They are not alone and never will be. Black Power 96 will continue to hold down the Black community. The truth will be told, heard, and reign supreme. Give back what has been stolen, St. Pete. The Black community's voice will not be silent. We fight, we win, like DJ Eddie, always ready. Black Power 96, the Black community got you, Uhuru, FoFeet.
Uhuru, shout out to FoFeet, 4 feet deep. I remember Comrade FoFeet deep, and that line, stay ready, DJ Eddie, Uhuru, right on. Thank you so much, Uhuru.
Uhuru, thank you so much.
Yes. Well, comrades, brothers and sisters, that will bring us to the end of our program, but not without acknowledging some other donors that came in. That includes Comrade Angelica, a $50 pledge. Angelica, located in St. Louis, Missouri. Uhuru, Comrade Angelica, thank you so much for your contribution. We also had Comrade Jamie, who you just heard from the Uhuru Solidarity Movement, with $20. We have Comrade Lauren from Lexington, Kentucky. I knew I saw something with $25. Uhuru, Comrade Lauren. And okay, I want to make sure I got everything. Okay, so that brings our total to $2,540 tonight, comrades. You did it. We did it. Uhuru, Right on, comrades. Again, thank you all so much. Thank you to everybody who participated in putting this together. And again, fist up, fight back. We are winning. Support Black Power 96 Radio, the station that's not just explaining the world, but changing it. Uhuru.